This video is directed to the abusers on YouTube who think it's okay to sexually take advantage of their mostly teenage fan base. Somehow the idea of having sexual relations with a teenage girl as wrong is revolutionary. Here are reasons why you should not sexually coerce with children. So for those of you not aware, the definition of statutory rape is this. The criminal offense of statutory rape is committed when an adult is sexually involved with a person who under the law is incapable of consenting to sex. And this includes minors and people who are physically and mentally incapacitated. Now this definition might vary depending on where you live, but in the US the age of consent is 18 and in the UK the age of consent is 16. So I'm going to focus more on the minors part of that definition because it's mostly relevant now on YouTube. Not to say that the other parts are not important, because they are. And when I'm talking about what's happening on YouTube, I'm talking about the accusations towards Sam Pepper and now towards Jason from V1I. And by the way, the actions have a whole lot of proof, and even Jason from V1I has said that he did try to coerce a minor. So I know I'm going to get some devil's advocates out there, because there's always one devil's advocate somewhere lurking in the internets. So people are going to say that it's because of evolution that men are attracted to younger, more fertile girls. And it's when puberty strikes, that is when women are the most fertile somehow. Well, take me to a study that proves that to be true, because I have yet to find one. And if you want to talk about fertility, actually infant babies still in the womb are the most fertile, because that is when they have the most eggs in their bodies. Yes, I think looking at the evolutionary track of human beings is very useful, but I'd rather use that knowledge to see our own flaws and try to be better from it. Because evolution essentially means change, not a reason to be a statutory rapist. So these are testimonies that I know of women who have gone through sexual assault in their different forms. One of my friends was in a relationship with a 33-year-old man while she was 16 years old. I could see just from the outside that the power imbalance was kind of ridiculous, and she didn't really know what she was doing or getting herself into. I also have another friend whose first sexual encounter was rape with her boyfriend, who was 5 years older than her and she was 17. My best friend's mom had a stepdad growing up who sexually abused her. I wish I could stop there, but I know plenty of other people who have gone through similar experiences and were all too young to know that they were going into those experiences. And you see these things everywhere, just entrenched in the way people talk, in the way people interact. In particular, I used to be a Redditor for some weird reason. If you didn't know, Reddit is a user-generated website that is mostly made up of white young men. And I want to emphasize the men, because most of those users were in their 20s. Every single time when a picture of a girl or a video of a girl came up, someone would try to gauge her age. If someone guessed within the ballpark of 12 to 17 years old, the mention of age of consent would without fail always come up. One of three major things would happen. First would be the guilt. Some people felt actually guilty for sexualizing this young girl. And in not so rare cases, some people would mention that they have masturbated over her picture or her video, and then mention that he felt guilty for it. Second, and the most common response that you would get, is that someone will mention that in their country or hometown, their age of consent is fill in the blank here. Third, there will be people heartily defending the male sexuality and how the man can't help how he's attracted to this young girl. She looks like a woman, and I can't control my own penis. Which is basically the gist. If you haven't guessed already, this is innately problematic. Now I want to start by saying that I don't think teenagers are lesser than a person. They are people. Every human being, no matter their age, is a human being, is a person, is by definition whole because they are living and breathing. Instead of saying that a teenager is lesser than a person, I would definitely say that teenagers are less fully developed than adults. Teenagers oftentimes don't have a set value system that is based off of their life experience, of how nuanced and complex this life is. Oftentimes teenagers are experiencing things for the first time, thus not having the life experience to inform them of the decisions that they're making. The reason why age of consent laws are in place is because an adult with a teenager relationship is a power imbalance. That means the minor has a lot less power than the adult in the situation. More than likely, this would lead to manipulation. Manipulation includes and is not limited to guilting, quid pro quo, which means this for that, which essentially means that there's a bartering system rather than actual consent. So if you are a man in your 20s, particularly one of the British variety, and you've been outed as an abuser, you now realize why people hate you so much right now. Beyond YouTube, this is an even bigger problem. The fact that I know victims in real life who have suffered from this, and the fact that there are people defending these sorts of actions. This problem really isn't contained in this YouTube space. Men and women are using their power and authority in order to take advantage of younger people who might not know better. The more people normalize and defend a man's sexual desire for a teenage girl, the more that person is reinforcing how women are not people. That's essentially what's happening in these comments on Reddit arguing about the age of consent so vehemently. By the way, just because a girl is of the age of consent does not mean that she has consented to you masturbating over her picture. I don't know where you got the idea that she did. And that's like pretty much exactly why we have porn in this world. It's like once a girl starts wearing a bra, it doesn't really matter if she's a fully fleshed out human being. It doesn't matter if she can make clear and educated decisions about her own body. It doesn't matter if she consented to people fawning over her pictures over the internet. And it especially doesn't matter if the girl is a fangirl. Because she's not a person, right? So what does it matter at all? So here are some key ways into not being a statutory rapist, as if anyone needs clear directions as to not do that. The first being, do not objectify women. Women do not exist to please you, especially the ones who are way too young to realize that you think of them in that way. Once again, if you truly need an outlet, there's always porn. That's a place where women have made the actual decision for you to see her in a sexual way. But there's a caveat to this. Don't forget that sex workers are also people, because they are. Number 2, recognize that the shape of someone's body is not in correlation or related to how old they are / how old you perceive them to be. Here's some nugget of truth. Everyone has different body types. Some women have more boyish body types, while some children have gone through early growth spurts. Number 3, don't break the frickin' law. I hope that after this video you realize the importance of this third rule. I didn't really plan on making a video about this whole abuse thing on YouTube again, but I just saw the importance of it, especially with new information coming out, and I think it's just a really important time to talk about this once again, and I'm sure it's going to catch the eyes of some people out of my own community bubble. So, can't wait to see the comments on this video. If you want to know any more information about this entire issue, or you want to hear more about it, I'm just going to link some links down below. There's a lot of new videos about this topic for you to be inside of the conversation. This is the third to last of Vlogtember, and I used a lot of it to talk about non-book related things. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Bye!